Hey, I'm Logan. This is Cameron. I'm going to be going over beginning trumpet with Cameron today. So first to start, we're going to take our case and know how to open it correctly. This one's going to be yours.
Okay.
And so when you're opening the case, you're going to want to have the logo on the top. Some cases don't have a logo. In your case, it says ASU on it. Even then, you want to make sure that when you flick the latches, you want to be flicking the latches up. If you're pulling the latches down, then the instrument's going to open upside down, everything's going to fall out, and it's going to be a big mess. My case has a zipper, but my case still does have a flap that flicks up. So for yours, you're going to flick your latches up, and then open your case. And so when we pick the trumpet up out of the case, you want to grab it just about right here, and take extra care of it. One thing you can do is you can slide your pinky into that top groove right there, and that's just a good way to get a grasp of it, and you get your thumb under right here. Yep. And then that's just a good way to take it out of the case. This isn't how we're going to hold it when we play it, but this is a good, comfortable way to manage the trumpet without breaking it. And so I'm going to show you how to hold the trumpet correctly, and then we're going to put that all down and work on mouthpiece stuff before we start playing on the horn. So the trumpet's got two parts: the big part, the body of the trumpet, and then the smaller piece, the mouthpiece. And so to put the mouthpiece in, you're going to pick up the mouthpiece, and you're literally just going to like drop it in. You're not going to twist it. You're not going to like force it in. You just kind of set it in there, and then by then it should like stay in and not fall. Yep. So a common mistake that happens is people really like they twist it in, they jam it in, and then it gets stuck, and that becomes a big issue for a lot of brass players because their mouthpiece gets stuck in their instrument and they can't get it off without like literally bending the instrument.
Right.
So once we have our mouthpiece in, we can take our left hand, and so with our left hand, what we're going to do is we're going to take our middle finger and shove it through that hole right there, and then so we're going to have two fingers below this pipe right here, and two above, so one next to and one. Yep, exactly like that. So these are going to these are the valves right here. These two are going to wrap around the valves. These two are going to go right here, and your thumb is going to be this little circle, loop, whatever. So now that our left hand's solid, we can correctly hold our right hand. Kind of similar to how we picked up the trumpet, but a little different. You see this loop?
Yeah.
Your finger's not going to go in that. Your pinky is going to sit on top of it.
Okay.
Your thumb is going to rest kind of behind the first valve, and you want the tips of your fingers, 1, 2, 3, on each valve. If you look, like some trumpets have their valves numbered, but 1's going to be closest to you, 3 is going to be the farthest from you. And just a little quick maintenance tip. We're not going to do this. I pre-oil your valves before you open your trumpet, but you can unscrew it, and then you can take the valves out, and then you can put valve oil on them on the silver part. That way they slide up and down correctly and don't stick, which tends to be a very common issue. And so, as with most instruments, including the trumpet, you want to have nice, good posture. You want your feet pretty flat on the floor. The main important part is like your shoulders and your chest area. If you're slouched over, you're constricting all your lungs and you can't breathe in correctly all the way. And so when we sit up straight and we breathe, you want to be able to take a full breath in, and then without tension. Like one of the key things we're going to be going over is you don't want any tension most anywhere, because when you create tension, that like it should be easy to play an instrument. You don't want to have to force like anything through, or like if you're forcing anything, you're creating tension, which is just going to give you a worse sound and it's going to be harder to play. So for example, when we're breathing, we take a deep breath in. Our shoulders aren't clenching up. We want to keep them nice and relaxed and breathe really from the diaphragm. And just take that nice deep breath of air in. So if you just take, nice. So let's actually take the mouthpiece out and set the trumpet back in the case, nice and safe. We're going to quickly go over how, so basically the valves are going to be facing you, the bell's going to be on the left side. Yep, there we go. And so one of the things when we play is you don't want to breathe in, hold it, and then like release it. It's going to be like one fluid like in, out. So it's going to be like is a good way to think about it. And so when playing the trumpet, as with any other instrument, you want to do all your breathing through your mouth. When you do it through your nose, it's just a lot harder to get air in. You can take in a lot more air through the mouth. And so one of the things I like to think of is when you're breathing in, if you say Minnesota, the O is kind of like the mouth shape you want when you're breathing in. So Minnesota. Minnesota. Yep, and then so kind of that O shape is what we're gonna breathe into. The best breath is going to make not that much sound. You don't want to hear like a, like that creates tension, and once again, we don't want tension. So when we breathe in, we want to breathe in deep with like little sound. Nice. And so let's work on our embouchure and how we're going to play the trumpet. So we're going to take just the mouthpiece. And so this is something called mouthpiece buzzing. What we're going to want to do is, this is most of the trumpet. Like the rest of the trumpet just kind of makes it easier to play. So to find where we want to put this, we're going to want to center it in our mouth. It's going to kind of go right in the middle. And the best way to think about it is you want firm corners and a loose center. Because what we're doing is basically, here, go like this. That's in essence what we're doing. Except we want to have firm corners so that we can control it. And so so what you're going to do is you're going to just push air through the mouthpiece without buzzing. So without just push some air through the mouthpiece. So we want to make sure that all the air is going through the mouthpiece. We don't want air escaping to the sides or anything weird. And what we're going to do is we're going to push air through the mouthpiece, and then we're going to slowly tighten and close our lips until we get a buzz. So for example, so what I'm doing is I'm pushing air through it, and then I'm slowly bringing my lips closer together until the vibration happens. You don't want to be forcing a buzz. You don't want to like really work to do it. The air should be creating the vibration. So if you push air through and then slowly bring your lips closer until you get a buzz started. So. Go ahead and try. Yeah, you're getting there. So one of the things you can think about is we want to have good air support. So if I was to like karate chop you in the stomach right now, your stomach would tense up a little bit.
Right.
You don't necessarily want tense, but you want supported. So you kind of want the feeling of like, it's like a slight little like half flex, and like you're keeping the air steady and flowing is the best way to think about it. And so we want to keep our cheeks. We don't want to puff out our cheeks. I'll show you a video later of some dude, like it gets weird. Yeah. So I'd recommend keeping your corners a little more firm and focusing on making sure your cheeks aren't going out. The buzz is coming from the middle of your lips, so you want to keep that nice and loose. So if we were just buzz, like immediately starting with the buzz. Yeah, it's like my computer sometimes starting with the buzz just in the mouthpiece is a little weird. Yeah, there we go. Are you able to get a little higher? Maybe like a... Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is and how we're going to change notes on the trumpet is thinking like kind of like E versus O. So when you want a lower note, you're going to be thinking O with your mouth shape, and when you want a higher note, you're going to be thinking E. So the E kind of pulls like this, like more out more. One of the things you're going to watch out for is when you're playing trumpet, you don't want to smile, you want to be closer to a frown. So instead of pulling your corners up, kind of like out and down. So let's just try buzzing one more time. There we go. So now we're going to put the mouthpiece on the trumpet. Let me see what time we're at. Okay, we're doing good. So now we can pick up our trumpet just like we learned last time. And just drop our mouthpiece in without really jamming it in there. Yep. And so, if we go back to how we're holding it, yeah, exactly like that. And so, when we're holding the trumpet, we don't want to really point it up because this isn't marching band. You don't want to be playing down. You want to have your head. This goes back to the posture thing. You want your head pretty vertical. If your head's pointed down, you're cutting off airflow. And the whole thing is it should be easy. You want air going through the instrument, no tension. And so without pushing down any keys, try buzzing again. It's going to feel a little different now that you have all this extra tubing. Yeah, there we go. So we can tilt the trumpet down so that we don't want it perfectly parallel. We want it down just a little bit. So try focusing on creating a buzz. We want the air to create the buzz. Right now, you have a good airflow going through the instrument. So it's like if we can just push air through the instrument without creating a buzz. We can just push air through it without anything happening. But the sound is being created from the vibration. So if we focus our air a little more and bring our lips a little closer together to get that buzz. So for example, if I was to buzz without the mouthpiece, without the horn, it would kind of like that. Yeah, so a good way to think about it is if you're pushing air through different types of straws. Like those really wide boba straws?
Yeah.
We want to avoid that. We want to think more like a coffee straw. So we're trying to push our air through the coffee straw, that's kind of like our air gap right here, through the horn. So if we now try again. Yeah, there we go. And so one of the things we're working for right now is we're not trying to aim for a certain pitch. What we want to do is just try and hit a pitch and keep it steady. So for example, whatever, that's just one. That's the note I naturally tend to go to when I pick it up. So if you're higher or lower than that, that's okay. So try and just go for just a buzz. So it's okay. So try and keep your, think about, say E.
E.
Oh. E.
E.
Okay? Now give me your best meh face, you're disappointed Okay? So we kind of think about that. We want more of a frowny face. So if you watch my lips, and then if to go higher, it'll be more like an E, and my lips will look more like this. You see how it changes slightly? So we want to keep that kind of think more like E, and work on getting that buzz. we're just on the mouthpiece. Try and focus your air a little more. Yeah. And so one of the things we can think about with the trumpet is we want to try and balance our air pressure versus, because you notice if you try and push a lot of air through, it feels like the trumpet's pushing back.
Right.
We want to kind of keep that like balanced. If you're trying to push too much air through an instrument, it's going to come out really blatty and not the best tone quality, but we want to keep that like balanced. So let's try just making a pitch. Keep going. Try pushing your lips out a little more. Right now I think you have your lips like tucked in.
Mm-hmm.
Try push out a little more. Come back for just a second. There we go. So what did you feel like you did differently that time?
Like pushed out more, like you said.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna try going to talking about articulation right now. So articulation is how you attack the note. So for example, if there's no articulation, it's just a breath attack, that means you start the note with your air. So this might actually be a little easier to make a note. So when you articulate, you want to do it with kind of like a ta. That's how you're going to start each note. So for example, if I was to play 4 notes in a row, I'm thinking with my tongue and with my mouth, ta, 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 ta. You want your tongue to be tapping kind of where the back of your teeth, if you like feel the back of your teeth with your tongue, where your teeth meet your gums, right there. That's where you kind of want to be saying ta. And that's where you're going to start each note. So for example, if I was playing 4 notes, the airstream isn't stopping. I'm not. The airstream's going the entire time, but I'm just kind of breaking the airstream by tapping my tongue against the back of my teeth. So let's just try that. Yeah, so let's actually hold the note for a little bit.
Okay.
Let's just take the note you're hitting right now. Yeah, you're doing it. It's just a little out of tune. There's nothing wrong with that. And so we want to keep that airstream going the entire time. When we're articulating notes, we want to have that going, and we're just breaking the airstream. Like it's like ta, 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 ta. So let's try that again, but just add 4 tas into that. Yeah, nice. Try moving your lips a little. Try moving your lips a little closer together. Yeah. Can you be a little lighter with your tongue? Try and just like it's like just a little baby flick. Yeah. No, that's good. Keep going. Don't worry how it sounds. Just keep everything going. Nice. Good job. So let me see how much time we have. Perfect. So we're just about out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our trumpet back in our case, exactly how we put it in. We're going to take the mouthpiece off, put it into the thing, and then put our trumpet back in, and we're going to close up nice and tight. Nice. Good job.